Hey guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews and welcome to Autism Awareness Month. The month of April is Autism Awareness Month. April 2nd specifically is Autism Awareness Day. Some of you probably already know, but my son is autistic. So this month is a very big month for me. I'm going to participate in a lot of different events locally in my community and also here on YouTube. I'm going to do a lot for autism awareness, specifically because this is a cause that is very near and dear to me. Even if I didn't have a son who had autism, I have someone I work with who is autistic. And there's a lot of subscribers that I even have that have autism as well. So a lot of people don't fully understand what autism is, and that's a big part of why I really like Autism Speaks, because they help families who maybe have a child with autism get into the right connections that they need to seek help or be able to get their child treated correctly with the different services that their child might benefit from. But they also help spread awareness for the disorder as well. So we're going to give you Autism Speaks' specific definition of autism. What is autism spectrum disorder? Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, refers to a range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication, as well as by unique strengths and differences. We now know that there is not one autism, but many types, caused by different combinations of genetic and environmental influences. The term spectrum reflects the wide variation in changes and strengths possessed by each person with autism. Autism's most obvious signs tend to appear between 2 and 3 years of age. In some cases, it can be diagnosed as early as 18 months. Some developmental delays associated with autism can be identified and addressed even earlier. Autism Speaks urges parents with concerns to seek evaluation without delay, as early intervention can improve outcomes. So, they also give some facts about autism, which we're going to go and read off as well. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, estimates autism prevalence at, sorry, that one was a word I actually couldn't sight read, as in 1 in 68 in the United States. This includes 1 in 42 boys and 1 in 189 girls. An estimated 50,000 teens with autism become adults and lose school-based autism services each year. Around 1/3 of people with autism remain nonverbal. There's a new one. Around 1/3 of people with autism have intellectual disabilities. Certain medical and mental health issues frequently accompany autism. They include gastrointestinal disorders, seizures, sleep disturbances, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, which is ADHD, anxiety, and phobias. So, there's a couple of fun tidbits for you. I want to break down one of those stats too, specifically because one of my subs also has an autistic daughter. So we're going to briefly discuss why autism is a little less prevalent in girls, or at least one of the theories to why it is a little less prevalent in girls. With guys, it's very obvious when we're socially awkward. Guys don't always follow the whole path of trying to fit in and trying to be the norm. With girls, social constraints are a little more restrictive on what's considered acceptable, and girls tend to want to be able to fit in better. Boys don't always care as much. Not trying to be sexist or anything here. I'm literally telling you this is one of their theories. So girls will a lot of times try to mask even having the disorder, not like consciously, especially because sometimes it is very hard to diagnose a young child with autism, but girls will sometimes try to cover it up to fit in a little better. So I did think that was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting to see how they broke that down to different gender roles, even playing a slight fact into that. But they do believe there are more autistic girls. They just go undiagnosed due to them being able to cover it up a little better than what a boy is. So autism isn't curable. It's never something that someone's going to get over. My son will always be autistic. Just certain symptoms will be less noticeable than others. And a lot of that will get covered with time. So, for example, my son, the big one was he had a speech delay. It took a while for him to start talking. We did go to a speech therapist. It was something we did for a very long period of time. Even in school now, my son is one of the highest ranked students in his class, like when it comes to scoring on like math and reading and all of those different skills. But he does have a tutor to essentially kind of evaluate where his mind is at. He's not in a special needs class. My son is considered extremely high functioning, but he does have some of the tendencies, and there are a lot of different things that go hand in hand with what autism entails. So some of the common facts are more than 200,000 US cases per year for autism. Treatment can help, but this condition cannot be cured, which is what I pretty much just said. Does require a medical diagnosis. I don't know why that's on here. Obviously, everything requires a medical diagnosis. We're not on Autism Speak site anymore. So, what people may experience with autism. Behavioral, inappropriate social interaction, poor eye contact, compulsive behavior, impulsivity, repetitive movements, self-harm, or persistent repetition of words or actions. Those are some of the behavioral traits of it. So like a lot of times, like when my son gets really excited, he'd sit there and smack like his leg, and he just keeps doing it. He likes to bounce a lot. So there's a lot of different things that fit into those keys there. But that would be considered compulsive or developmental issues. Learning disability or speech delay in a child. So my son had a speech delay. He speaks perfectly fine now, and a lot of that is due to his speech therapist. If we would have never had the speech therapist that we did, who was with Nationwide Children's Hospital, he probably would have never come to the point he is at currently. Cognitive, intense interest in a limited number of things or problem paying attention. My son has a lot of issues paying attention. It's crazy. I wouldn't say he has he has an intense interest in certain things, but he is pretty interested in most things. Psychological, unaware of others' emotions or depression. Thankfully, my son does not have either one of those. Sometimes he has, like, my son's interacting with another child, like back in the day when he used to play tag, he used to never understand that when he was touched, he was then it. He would just continuously run from the other kids, and it was kind of funny to watch because a lot of them were boggled that he was still running from them. But yeah. Also common, anxiety, change in voice, sensitivity to sound, or tic. So a tic would be like something that causes a tic. Most commonly, you would see like a tic with Tourette's. That's normally associated mostly with Tourette's. But yes, autism also has that as well. My son is very sensitive to higher pitched noises. That can literally cause him to have a complete freak out. It's very uncommon. It has to be like a really loud siren style noise, or he used to really, really have issues with the sound of snow on the TV. The snow, the waves where there's no signal and stuff along those lines. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that go into autism, and a lot of people don't fully understand it. A lot of the people that you are going to meet in your life who have it, you may never know actually have it. That's the crazier part to this. It's one of the most diagnosed disabilities, but it's also one of the least diagnosed in people who have it. So there are people that will spend their whole life without the correct help that they could have had to be able to make it easier to cope with the different disabilities that they're suffering. Now, my wife did a video a few years back at the Autism Awareness Walk. I will link it in the description box below. we went around, well, she went around and she wanted to interview different people at the walk. Keep in mind, this is when her YouTube channel was very new and before I was ever on YouTube. She was too embarrassed to go up to people and really ask if they were okay with answering these questions. So me being the person I am, I just went right up to random strangers that I thought would be good to ask. And I tried to get as much diversity into it as I could. And pretty much my wife would just ask them the questions after I asked if it was okay. One of the younger individuals that, some of these topics are really emotional. One of the people that she interviewed was a dad, and his son's name was Owen. And Owen was unable to talk. Like, Owen did not communicate verbally at all. And one of the hardest things that I've ever experienced was actually listening to this father talk. I do apologize. This, as I said, is a very emotional topic to me. But when he was talking, and we asked, what is the hardest part to having a child with autism? He had tried to tell us about how he can't interact with his son the way that he'd want to. That's not saying he doesn't love his son by any means. That is saying that the level of communication that he would love to have or interaction with his son wasn't there. And the reason why that's actually an emotional thing for me is I couldn't imagine being in that particular position. One of my favorite songs is Simple Man by Shinedown. I prefer the Shinedown version over Skinner. You can hate on me for that all you want if you want to. Just don't do it on this video, please. And I mean, there's just, as a parent, there's certain things you want for your child in their life, and I get that it's very touching to see that the amount of love he still has for his son, despite how hard it might be at times, to be able to share the moments that he wants to be able to share with his son. And I mean, it's really touching because his son was eating some kind, I want to say it was a cookie or candy or something along those lines. Just wait until I get into the next video where I'm going to talk about how autism affected our family. But there's some very emotional and powerful stuff that was in that video. As I said, I will tag it in the description box below. I will also be doing a lot of fundraising for autism awareness this month, which all of it will be donated through my son's Walk for Autism account. So anything you donate to me, I will then redonate to Autism Speaks in my son's name. Which there's going to be shirts and stuff available on my Teespring. You can donate through PayPal or you can donate in Super Chat while I'm live streaming. Yeah, sorry that took that turn. I really didn't think I would actually get that choked up during that. Yeah. Guys, the big thing with autism awareness, as you can see, is I have an Autism Speaks bracelet on here. The puzzle piece is their logo. That's the whole point to autism, is it's represented by a puzzle piece. And they use a lot of slogans like "until the pieces fit," or "light it up blue" is their other one, because blue is the autism awareness color. So on my front patio, I have a blue light. I do that year round. That isn't something I just do during April. And a lot of different companies do a lot of support things with autism awareness. GameStop actually does do some stuff with Autism Speaks. That was more of a recent thing. I think last year was their first year doing it. Home Depot actually sells the official Autism Speaks light bulb. So if you would like to get a blue light bulb, all proceeds from that light bulb go directly over to Autism Speaks to help push for autism awareness. So, guys, I will be talking about this in several videos throughout the month. It'll be a constant topic, and it'll be something that obviously I might even wind up more emotional about when I'm talking about. So, thank you for watching. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me as a community and all of the support that I get from you guys year round, not just on this particular video if I get a lot of support on it, not on any particular video, but you guys are an amazing community and I'm really happy to have you. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.